and good afternoon. Welcome to Trading Tech Talk. I am Daniel Sinek with tradingindicators.com, and I will be your host this evening. And before we get started with our exciting lineup of topics today, just a bit of housekeeping. As you know, trading contains substantial risk, and as a trader, you may lose all of your initial investment or more. When you trade, please only trade risk capital, which is capital that you can afford to lose. And should you lose it, it will not affect your lifestyle. When it comes to hypothetical performance, such as backtest results, please keep in mind that these are not necessarily indicative of future performance. Okay, so what has changed since last week? What's new? Well, we're still working on Super Trend Bullseye for TradingView. I had promised you this indicator for last week already. We did not finish it quite yet, but we're almost done. And I've pasted here a screenshot of the latest version of this indicator. As you can see, it has already all the entry signals, the stop loss line, and our statistics panel in the top right corner. We are about to release, so please watch out for this upcoming exciting release of Super Trend Bullseye for TradingView. And another new thing that we have developed in the last week is the Goersch Trend Pro indicator for TradingView. And in fact, this is going to be the main topic of this session. Goersch Trend Pro, as you will see, is a complete trading system. It contains the regular Goersch Trend indicator, which some of you may already know as a histogram below the chart. But the Gersh Trend Pro version also comes as a complete trading system featuring entry signals, stop losses, profit targets, break even, and trading stops. So super exciting news. And we're super excited that we have the inventor of Gersh Trend here with us today.
My name is Martin Goersch. My job is to work as a portfolio manager, as a full-time trader. Actually, I'm doing this since 2005 now. As you can read on the screen, I studied economics and Chinese. I used to live 2 years in China also. And I already started trading by myself during my studies. And one day, by accident, more or less, I came across Larry Williams several years ago. And I started to work with Larry and to learn from Larry. And now at the moment, I have two main strategies. One is using the commitments of traders data and seasonals for trading the commodity future markets. And the other main strategy of mine is trading stocks, mainly in the US market, single stocks and also single stock options. Well, and that's actually what I'm doing for a living. And I'm very, very happy that we were able to implement my indicator, my Gersh Trend indicator. I developed it for several years. And you are able now to use it in TradingView and several other trading platforms. And now we were able to bring it one step further to integrate my complete trading strategy for the stock market into TradingView. We are going to develop it for several other platforms as well, but at the moment it's available for TradingView. So at first we're going to take a look at the Gersh Trend indicator. The Gersh Trend indicator is this histogram. And what's special about it is that it's very, very easy to read, actually. So it has really a lot of information in it. It's working with a lot of different types of information, but the purpose was to have an indicator that's very easy to read, very easy to see if a market is in a valid uptrend or in a valid downtrend. We also are able to see the trend changes and the trend strength, actually, so the momentum in the market. So to be honest, you have everything you need in one indicator. And that's very, very nice. So it's very convenient as well as that it's working out of the box. So there's nothing that has to be adjusted if you're using it for different assets or for different time frames. It's doing everything completely automatically by itself. And I think it might be best to switch directly in the platform and just show you the indicator and show you how you be able to use it. Well, this is the actual chart of the S&P 500. As we see, maybe we are in the making of something like a tradable bottom. We saw a nice follow through today, and we see that Gersh Trend already changed once in the long direction for a short time frame for 1 day. Then we got this 2-day correction, quite big. So the Gersh trend went down again. And I guess if we see a nice green candle today, then I think Gersh trend will also change in the green again, and we will have an uptrend that is tradable. So if we take a look in the history, I'm just going to show you very quick how it works. So what's important is to always check at first, is the market in an uptrend or in a downtrend? So, and here starting with October 2019, we had a nice uptrend. We see the momentum is here. The bars are getting longer. And so we see all this way up here is a valid uptrend. And as you can see, the indicator is working quite fast. So we have one big down day that's going below the 50-day moving average as well. And we see here's directly the switch from the long side to the short side. And we also can see in this candle already that the momentum was going down and the trend strength was going down very fast. So this is like a signal for you that the long direction might not be the correct direction at the moment. And then we saw very, very fast the indicator moving to the downside. You see it's following the trend. And when we are at the lowest point, we have the lowest point in the indicator as well. And from there on, we see, oh, okay, maybe the downtrend is over because we see these candles getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we have a tradable pattern up here where you see, okay, this trend is valid again. We are above the 50-day moving average. We have higher highs, higher lows. So this might be a good place to take the long direction again. So we came out of the trade around here and we were able to enter again at the lower price down here. So that's quite a nice thing. And you see all the way up here, everything is fine. We see we do have this nice momentum, but at this place, we see we have higher highs in the price, but lower highs in the indicator. So you can use it actually for divergences as well. So this is a sign that you have to be a little bit careful. There might be a bigger down move in the making. And that's directly what we saw here, like an ABC correction, a high that's not going above the last high. And then we see we have a higher low. And here we have the next divergence. We have higher lows in the market. We have lower lows in the indicator. That's a bullish divergence, actually. And we see the market is moving up again, going above this trend line and moving up again and move. And very nice. We see it with the Gersh trend. We can follow the complete way, the complete uptrend until we see here, okay, this might be a problem as well. We see higher highs in the price, lower highs in the indicator, but we don't see a trend change. We have 1 day down here that's reversed directly at the next day. So everything is fine on the way up, on the way up, on the way up. And here we see, okay, this trend is broken. We are not going to play the long side anymore. This was a nice situation for a short setup. You see, we have this big trend line here coming from the Corona lows, from the COVID lows here in March 20, going up all the way until January 2022. We have this big divergence here. We see new highs in the price, no new highs in the indicator, so big divergence. And with this break of the trend line, Gersh trend was already to the downside, so we were able to take the short side here. In this situation, bullish divergence in the Gersh trend, we see the market is moving up again. You can use it as a filter for trading setups. If I get a long entry signal in the market, the first thing I'm going to check is how about my indicator. If it's not green, if it's not moving to the upside, I'm not going to take the long trade. Same thing for the short trade as well. And now we brought this thing one step further, and we developed this Goersch Trend Pro. And in the Gersh Trend Pro package, you get, of course, the Gersh Trend indicator, but you also get the Gersh Signals indicator. And the Gersh Signals indicator is creating long and short setups and is always with the trend direction. So the nice thing is long setups are only created if a market or if an asset is in a strong uptrend, and short signals are only generated if the market is in a strong downtrend. You get entry warnings. So you get this warning, and afterwards you can put your entry order in your trading system, and then everything works by itself, because you do not only get the entry point, you also get the target, the first target, the second target, and you get the stop loss for the trade. Everything is shown in Trading View. So maybe the first one we take a look at is Occidental Petroleum. We see this nice uptrend here. Energy markets, energy stocks actually are the best stocks in this year. So we have a lot of stocks with valid uptrends, with strong uptrends. And if we take a look at the signals here, we see this was my last trade on the long side here with Occidental Petroleum. We got this nice entry setup here on the 4th of April. And we see the first target was reached, the second target was reached. With the entrance, you directly get the target prices so that you are able to put a limit in your trading platform for the first half of the trade, and afterwards for the second half of the trade. You see the stop loss is trailed automatically. The system is always the same. If the first target is hit, the first half of the trade closed with a profit, and for the second half the stop directly goes to the break-even level, so that you're not able to lose any money on this trade. You already earned with the first half and have the possibility to get the second half in the target range as well. This is what happened here 3 days ago with Occidental Petroleum. The way this indicator works is, what we need is a stock or any other symbol with a valid trend. And normally I do not want to buy up here. I want to buy after we saw a retracement. I want the market to retrace, and I also want the market to begin to move in the trend direction again. And then somewhere around here, I want to have my entry level. And then it depends on how far this entry level is from the last low. We either have the stop at this low or at this low. So the strategy is deciding by itself where the stop loss is taken. So actually what we are doing is we are trading risk-reward ratios 1:1 for the first half of the trade and 2:1 for the second half of the trade. So we have Zebra Technologies here. At first, the stock was in a valid uptrend. We can see it here. We have higher highs, higher lows. And what's very important as well is you can see here and here that you got trade warnings, but the actual trade was never filled because we didn't get a follow through. So what we are waiting for is trade warnings that say, okay, the type of situation we need in the market for having a suitable trade is there, but afterwards we need a follow through. If we don't get a follow through, we do not get a trade. Simple as that. And the nice thing is, sometimes if you don't get a follow through, markets are just moving actually in the wrong direction. But if we get a follow through, like here, we have it here. We see this first candle here is the signal candle. The second candle is the follow through. We get a higher high on the next day. So the trade is filled. And on the long side, we reach the first target. Then the market is retracing. It's not reaching the second target. But with the second half of the trade, we also made a profit. So the entry level was down here. So the first trade, the first half got this profit and the second half a little bit smaller. But what I wanted to show you actually is that we have the long signals only if there is a valid uptrend. In the moment the trend changes to the downside, there are no long signals anymore. But if we get a valid signal in the short direction, we get the short signal. So what we are doing all the time is we are following the trend. And to be honest, the easiest way to work in the market is simple trend following strategies. You know, the trend is the biggest advantage you can get in terms of trading, in terms of making profits. So if you see that the trend is on the upside, we need long trades. If we see the trend is to the downside, we definitely need short trades. And the way it works here is we do have this entry candle here, the warning candle. Afterwards, we have the follow through to the downside. I'm going to make it a little bit larger so you can see it. Warning candle. This one is the entry candle. Stop is up here above the last high. So the stop was not hit here in this retracement. And then we see the market trending to the downside, hitting the first target and here hitting the second target, and everything is fine. So we have one stock that changed the direction from long to short, and we made our profit on the long side and also on the short side as well. Salesforce, I think everybody knows this stock as well. So we have been in a valid uptrend here. You can see this here, valid uptrend. We get the long signal, we hit the first profit target on the long side, we hit the second profit target on the long side, and then the market changes. Going down here, moving below the 50-day moving average and developing a strong downtrend. Here we already get the first short signal, but no follow through. So this was not a trade. And the actual trade was over here. And what you're always going to see is if the sequence is to the downside and we see a valid downtrend, what we need to enter the trade is a retracement. We want to see a retracement. And after the retracement, if the trend is going to continue, we are going to short the market. So first profit target hit, second profit target hit, and that's done. What we also can do is if you want to be a little bit more active, you do not have to use the daily chart. You also can use the 4-hour chart or something like that. Let's take a look at Alibaba. Yeah, what we see here is a short trade. We hit the target. The next short trade, we hit the first target. The second one was not hit. We got stopped up here with a small profit. And here the same again. First target got hit and second half got stopped break even. And what we can do now is we can switch it to the 4-hour chart. And you see, you get a little bit faster trades. You know, the trade frequency will be a little bit more. And we also can trade like the big stocks that we've seen here, like Microsoft, that moved to the downside for quite some time. And we hit the short signals here and here. Here, the same thing. First target got hit, second one got stopped out with a profit as well. So what I would advise you is, if you're trading in calm, quiet trend markets to the upside, use a larger time frame, because markets to the upside are going a little bit slower and a little bit more relaxed to the upside. But markets that are moving to the downside are a lot faster. And it's clever to take your profits a little bit earlier in short trades. You know, like short trades and long trades shouldn't be treated the same. So it's quite a good idea to take a longer time frame for the long trades and a shorter time frame for the short trades. Let's take a look at the stock of Oracle. Yeah, you can see it here. If you take a look at the Gersh trend here, you see how strong the downtrend was in the 4-hour chart. And what we see is first trade here in the beginning of January. We hit the target in the middle of February. Second trade here at the end of April, and we've been out also at the end of April. This trade only took us 1 week.
Mark wants to know if this indicator works well on the 1-hour chart.
Yes, of course, you can use it on the 1 hour chart as well. Actually, it's working really on every time frame where you are able to identify a trend.
Are there any specific asset classes that it works better with?
Well, what I'm used to is the stock market. So I'm using it for my trading, for the stock market, for single stocks, and sometimes for the indices as well.
So Martin mentioned that he uses this indicator primarily for trading stocks, equities, and indices on the daily time frame or on the 4-hour time frame. And this is a great use case for this indicator. But this indicator and the signals, they can also be used on much lower time frame, for example, for scalping or day trading purposes. I have opened up here the NASDAQ E-mini futures on the 5-minute time frame. The indicator is applied, both the Gersh trend histogram and the signals indicator. And as you can see here, the indicator is picking up warnings and entries on this time frame as well with quite some accuracy. So this indicator can really be used on any time frame and even any chart type. So I could even open up this indicator on a completely different chart type, let's say Renko bars, and you will see that this indicator will give you signals as well. So any time frame and any chart type are supported by this indicator. Now, when it comes to scanning or alerts, TradingView does not have a scanner yet. It might come in the future, but currently there's no scanner in TradingView for custom indicator signals. So you cannot scan. But what you can do in TradingView is to define your own alerts. And all you need to do is to go up here to the alerts box, click on it, then select the Goersch signals indicator. And now you can define your own custom alerts for either entry signals, buy and sell, or entry warnings to the long side or the short side. And once you create an alert, you can decide what should my notification be. Should it be a notification on my app? Should I receive an email or perhaps some other forms of notification? And then you can click create. And once it's created, it will show up on the right-hand side here, as you can see. And from this point on, you can actually close your browser, you can close your TradingView, and you will still receive the alert, which is amazing. This is an amazing feature of TradingView. What I would suggest is to define alerts for all the stocks that you're interested in, and then simply you will be notified whenever a new signal comes up, which kind of acts as a scanner in some sense. Now, there's one awesome feature which we have built into both the Goersch trend histogram and the Goersch signals indicator. If you go to settings and go to inputs, you will now see that you have a time frame input. And with this input, you can choose for which time frame should this indicator be calculated. By default, it is the chart time frame because that's typically what we want to see. But perhaps imagine you would like to see, the chart is on 5 minutes, but I'd like to see my Goersch trend histogram for the perhaps 50-minute time frame or 1 hour time frame. So what I can do, I can select the 1 hour time frame, and immediately the indicator will update. If you don't like these spaces in between, which are caused by the fact that, of course, on the 1 hour time frame, we only get a new value every hour, you can go back to the settings and you can unselect gaps, which basically will fill these gaps with the same color and density. And it would look like this. So this is basically the Goersch trend histogram calculated on the 1 hour time frame, but shown on your chart time frame, which is a pretty awesome feature. And the same thing works also for your signals indicator. Again, you can go back to settings, go to inputs. Let's say you are interested in seeing the signals for perhaps the 50-minute time frame, or let's say the 1 hour time frame. You simply select it. It will update, will take a little while, and you will then see projected on the chart what are the entries on the 50-minute time frame, but projected to the 5-minute time frame. And you can use this technique to really fine-tune your entries. Because you look at the 5-minute time frame, okay, how is price behaving, or what it is trying to reach the entry level, and then should I take the trade, yes or no? If you are interested in giving the Gersh Trend Pro package a try, Gersh Trend Pro package comes with the histogram indicator, which is Gersh Trend, and the signals indicator, which is Gersh Trend Signals. And with the signals indicators, you get the entry warnings, the entry signals, you get alerts, you get a stop loss, targets, break even, and a trailing stop. So if you want to give it a try, simply go to tradingindicators.com/pro, where you'll see all the information listed in a condensed form for this indicator. And of course, with most of our products, we will also give you a 7-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. If you're not satisfied, you just simply notify us and you will get all your funds back.
There's some users that want to know if this will be available for NinjaTrader and other platforms.
Yeah, good questions. We will be starting the conversions to other platforms immediately after this webinar. The next ones will be ModifWave, NinjaTrader, but we're also going to look at Thinkorswim and TradeStation for these conversions, and perhaps also MetaTrader. All right, guys, so give it a try, tradingindicators.com/pro. And we also have a special price available for the next couple of days, as you will see on our product page. So this leaves me with a quick outlook for next week's webinar, which will be next Thursday, as always, at 6 p.m. Eastern. And the spotlight topic will be our Trend Radar indicator, which is an indicator which currently only exists for the Wealth Charts platform. But for next week, we are going to have this indicator available for all our other supported platforms as well. Martin, do you want to wrap up the session?
Oh, well, there's not much left to say, I guess. It was very, very interesting. It was much fun to be with you today. Yeah, I hope my indicator is going to help one or the other of the traders that were listening today. If there are any questions, don't hesitate to send them in. And I think Daniel or Homer will forward them to me, and I will be pleased to answer all your questions as well, of course.
The contact address for the questions is hj@tradingindicators.com. So hj@tradingindicators.com for all your questions and feedback. All right, guys. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Martin, for joining. I know it's super late in Germany right now.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep now.
Yes, it's well deserved. Bye, guys. See you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.